What's up, everybody? Hi, welcome to the Black and White Fitness Podcast. I'm Victoria. This is James. Hopefully, you know us by now. If not, that's cool.
Watch the
Welcome.
other videos.
Yeah, I mean,
Please.
you can. Please, we appreciate it. Any Hoosers.
We starting out early today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good night. So
This one's
today
for dynamite.
we're dynamite today. This is fun. Boom. Anywho, today we're going to talk about women's hormones, social media judgment, and we're also going to talk about some mental health, which is rather huge all around for life and fitness. But what would you like to start with, James?
I think women's hormones.
Yeah. So with the women's hormones, women need to remember and not beat themselves up because our hormones are much, much different than a man's. We have a lot of other things to take into consideration when trying to lose body fat or to build muscle that a man doesn't even have to worry about. As far as like, we can't eat exactly what they eat because our hormones are that much different that we could gain more fat and not gain any muscle on the same exact diet as a man. So as a woman, you need to remember to take your hormones into consideration in your weight loss journey, and also to make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that they're balanced and in check, and that you're knowledgeable about what is going on with your own body so that you can make better decisions in your weight loss journey or your fitness journey or building muscle, whatever it is, in life in general. Because, I mean, we can wake up one day and be 5 to 10 pounds heavier because we're about to start our period. And sorry, guys, this might be a little gross for some of you, but I'm going to keep it.
Grow up.
That too.
Grow up. You got to deal with it at some point, whether it's your girlfriend, your sister, your mama, your significant other, or your daughter. There's going to be some woman in your life somewhere she's gonna have one eventually. Like, come on now.
Off topic, but do you go to the store and buy your wife things if she needs them?
Oh yeah. She dropped a blood clot after she had the baby. I picked it up off the floor. Like, I don't get. Yeah.
High five to you. Respect. I mean, it really is. It's not that big of a deal. We can wake up 5 to 10 pounds heavier just because of our hormones. That's not because we did anything wrong. That's just our hormones naturally fluctuating. And then there's also a lot to be taken into consideration throughout those, because, your hormones are going like this all the time.
Yeah, they fluctuate.
Consistently. We all have ups and downs. Because there's ovulation, you have your period, everything in the middle. Literally, we have like one normal-ish week. And then the other 3 weeks aren't normal. So don't be too hard on yourself if things aren't going smoothly, because if that is off, you're not going to be able to lose weight. You're going to have a really hard time. And this is one thing that a lot of older women get confused with. They will say, oh, I hit menopause, my metabolism has dropped. That is why I'm gaining weight. No, that is majorly false. From the ages about 20 to the age about 65-ish, your metabolism is the same. The only difference is how you're feeding it. That's the difference in your metabolism, is what you are doing to either promote or hurt your metabolism.
Right.
What's actually going on is your hormones are all out of whack, and due to that, and typically most people don't understand what's going on, and so they just go, oh, it's weight gain, I can't get it off. I'm old now. No. Your hormones are crazy and fluctuating all over the place, and your metabolism is the same. So if you consistently build lean muscle, eat healthy, and stay active, you're not going to have that major weight gain.
That was the one I was really going to think about, or really going to touch on, is the ice machine. I heard it a second ago, and I was like, there's an ice machine over there. We just make sure nobody's going to, yeah. So, where was I going with that?
Sorry.
Activity. The amount of activity that you do. So, in general, for the most part, men and women in general get less active just as life kind of goes on because job, career. I mean, career, life stuff. Just you don't have as much free time as you did when you were younger. But I feel like with women, a lot of times, and I mean, like, let's say married mother or mother period, they tend to have less time. So, or it just becomes less of a priority. It's like I have a little person that I have to take care of. So me going to the gym, especially when it's like when we're younger, it's kind of more, I'm doing it for how I look in here. Or I'm thinking I'm doing it, I'm going to the gym for how I look. Well, I have a child now. I don't really care. Like whether it's, I have a child, I'm still with the father, I'm married, whatever the case may be. I'm more focused on my child than I am on me looking, hot or whatever.
And that's fine. You don't have to look any particular way.
Right. So that's the other thing is you're less active too. So it's not necessarily your metabolism changed. It's just you're less active now. So you're not burning it as much. Like your metabolism is the exact same, but it's just the amount of activity that you have in there is changed now because you had to adapt to life and things like that. So I mean, at the end of the day, when you start putting things in priority, that kind of gets pushed down here. But I do kind of like where the world is right now, where it's like, prioritize yourself as well, do stuff for you, things like that, which will be touched on when we go to mental health. But that's another big thing that I always try and push for is, especially with parents in general, is that when you think about exercise, because I'm trying to make sure that I stay away from using the term gym, but when you think about exercising and being healthy, if you are a parent, you have even more of a responsibility to do it because you have to do it for you and for them.
Yeah.
That's what you should always think about is
and you're don't be a burden on them.
Yeah, so you're setting the example for what they should be doing later on in life, and you're being a better parent by not making yourself end up being a burden to them later on in your life. Because at the end of the day, if you could have just gone out and exercised for 30 minutes a day, and that would have kept you from now being completely just dependent on your child when you're like in your mid-50s, you owe that to them to do that. 30 minutes every other day would have kept you from being like completely just helpless in your mid-50s. That's pretty young to be almost helpless. That's kind of, you can't really get around like you need to. You're fighting diabetes, you're fighting blood pressure, you gotta take this pill, that pill, whatever, and now your kids are grown, but they can't really take care of their life because they feel obligated to take care of you because, well, that's my mom or that's my dad. They took care of me when I was young, when I was a kid. So in my head, I feel like I'm supposed to take care of them, which in actuality, from what I call the law of the jungle, that's not their job. Their job is to take care of their kids. If they had, like, if you're just talking about life cycle, it's you grow. All right, so you're born, you come of age to where you reproduce, and then you die. Yep. That ain't my opinion. That's just how that normal life cycle works. So once you've had that happen, you're kind of here on borrowed time anyway. But your child isn't really supposed to go backwards and be taking care of you because they have to make sure that the next generation, which would be your grandchildren, is cool. Yeah. So if you just doing 30 minutes a day of exercise or 30 minutes every other day would alleviate them, having to take care of you until you're like 80, do it.
And not only maybe alleviate them taking care of you, but you're going to be around longer. You're going to be able to play with your grandkids on the floor and not have hurting knees or ankles or hips or whatever. You're going to be able to pick up your grandkids and be active with them and run around with them and ride bikes or do whatever it is. You're not going to be stuck where they have to come to your house and sit on your couch with you, and that's the only way you interact with your grandkids.
Yeah, or they have to show you their tablet.
Yeah.
That's about all they can really do is show you how to use a tablet, and they're sitting there, or they have to watch what you're watching.
Yeah.
That's about all that consists of Meemaw's house now, is going over there to sit down.
Yeah, sit down and watch something or play a board game. Or, I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching something or playing a board game, but don't you think it'd behoove everybody just a little bit of activity? Not only back to kind of what he said about you're setting the example for your kids, so especially when they're really young, like 2, 3, 4, 5, if you're in the gym and they see that regularly, that's part of life. That's just normal. We eat healthy and we work out because we brush our teeth and we make our bed. It's same stuff. It just flows into their life, and then it's not this big terrifying experience or this where they're unhappy with themselves and not looking how they want or not feeling how they want and are completely lost on how to fix that because they've never been shown anything but here's some fast food for dinner and let's play some video games.
Or plastic surgery.
Because
they're on their phones and tablets and the internet all day. So really all they know is at 21 or 22, they're considering getting some type of plastic surgery to fix something that they literally could go exercise a little bit. So my perspective is coming from more of just the general health perspective.
Yes.
Hers is from the professional so we really kind of touch on both sides. But like all they could do, they could fix that with just going out. Let me stop using the word go to the gym. But they could go exercise for 30 minutes and fix whatever it is that they're not particularly happy about. But instead of doing that, they want to take the easy route because they see all over the place because they want these Instagram instant gratification results because
and they're
you
not
didn't show them any better.
Real.
At all.
There's no... this is the most frustrating part of all of fitness for me. There's no such thing as a magic pill or instant results. Steroids aren't an instant pill. They're not magic results. There's no magic exercise to do, no tea you're going to drink. It's all a lie. Like, for real, it's a lie.
You cannot get around the hard work. You still have to do it.
No matter what.
Period. You have to do it.
To just do it.
Because if it was that easy, like we've said before,
everybody would be in shape.
And it wouldn't be a niche thing. It wouldn't be something to where,
What?
Have you ever experienced the other side of body shaming? Or like...
Which part?
So like...
Yes, I get shamed a lot.
So like where people that are...
fat tell me I should... Yes.
Yeah. People are like... or they'll make fun of you because you're eating... Or you're always eating healthier. Or if there's like something at work, they automatically be like, oh, they're not going to eat that. They're healthy.
Yes.
Bro, how do you know what I eat?
Well, first off, why is it a bad thing to eat healthy? Ever. And why is it something that's being looked down on? Because yes, I get this actually, especially when I'm...
Well, yeah, I could imagine yours is way worse.
Okay.
Because your body... Yeah, because yours...
Yes, the amount of hate I get in general is interesting. Getting told I look like a man, okay.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I get... At my last office job, I was working in office, so I'm there every day, and I was in a prep during part of the time I was working at this job. Literally, any office gathering that we had, there was extra food. Typically, it was unhealthy. I was in prep, so like super strict. But it wasn't even just oh, she doesn't eat that. Well, just have one bite. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not that bad for you. Oh, why can't you just have one meal? It's not gonna throw you off that bad, is it? Why are you pressuring somebody who doesn't want to eat the nasty, horrible, worthless food? Because I think it was like, this time it was like donuts or something. It was like the most ridiculous, nasty stuff. It wasn't even anything good. Why are you pressuring somebody who's eating healthy and doing something that they enjoy and taking care of their body? Why are you going to try and make them less? Is it because you're less and you can't stand it? Are you jealous? Or are you just trying to realize that, or not trying to realize, or do you not realize that eating healthy is actually the normal thing? Because that's what we should be doing as a whole.
And you know what's sad? If you said one word to like completely, essentially get back at them or say, well, why don't you go to the gym? And
I couldn't.
I
would have gotten eaten alive. I did one time. I was like, well, I don't eat that because it's extremely bad for my body and I don't feel like gaining that kind of weight. And I literally didn't get talked to for like a week.
I guarantee you could have heard a pin drop in that office.
Oh yeah, there was like 4 ladies, and they were all 4 of them were like, oh, just eat. There was like something else on the table. It was like some cake or something. They'd cut like a little bitty sliver of it. I didn't even want it. It wasn't craving anything. It wasn't even tempting me. I was literally sitting there eating my chicken and rice on my phone with headphones in. And they were like, hey, do you want a piece? I was like, no, thank you. And literally, when I finally was like, no, I don't want to eat that because I don't want what it does to my body. I don't want that in my body because it's bad. That is cancer, and I don't want it in my body. I didn't say those exact words, but it was something along those lines. And they literally all looked at me like I was evil, and nobody talked to me for over a week. And after that, if I was in the kitchen eating, they would just turn their backs on me because I was making a choice I wasn't hurting anybody. I wasn't in anybody's way. I wasn't nothing. I'm literally sitting there eating my food and getting told that I'm almost a bad person for not wanting a bite of something I don't want to eat.
Why does it bother y'all so much? I don't get that. Like,
I don't either.
And I'm nowhere near. We talk about it all the time. I'm nowhere near any type of health model at all. Literally.
You're really not.
I'm not. I am not. I am representing y'all on this podcast. Like, I really am. It's only 2 things, but the thing is, there's 2 things that I do not eat. Well, there's one that I absolutely don't eat, and there's one that, like, I'm talking about the smallest margin. I don't eat pork at all. Like, I will
do bacon.
I don't eat pork in any way, shape. I just recently became Muslim, but even before that, I didn't eat pork anyway. Like, I stopped eating pork a long time ago anyway.
It's so god awful.
And then I don't eat dairy. Or like very, 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 like the only thing that it's like I'm guaranteed to eat it is if I get Wingstop, I will pour the ranch on the fries because they're tough to get down. It's really like it's just whatever.
Wingstop is.
But I barely eat Wingstop. It's like I might get Wingstop once every 2-3 months. Like I don't even really eat it. Or if I make a protein shake, because the protein that I have is whey. I do have plant-based, but I haven't used up the
whey.
But and then the reason I haven't used it is because I barely even drink protein shakes. But those are the only 2 dairies that might go in my stomach at any given time. But
cheat meal, I'll do cheese.
When you realize, like, but the thing is, it's so crazy, is because I don't eat those 2 things. Do you have any idea how much that cancels out a lot of stuff in my diet that I didn't realize until it's like I literally can't eat out. Pizza, scratch it. Mostly anything, because I mean we're in Texas, so 98% of most of the I can eat authentic Mexican.
That's true. No Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex, they put cheese on every single thing, and I'm like, why does that need cheese?
Question though, do you not eat dairy just because you don't want to eat dairy, or is there a reason behind that one? I mean, dairy's not great for you, but like, do you have a different?
So, it kind of stemmed from the movie What the Health, with the whole hormonal thing. But you know what's crazy? It actually came from one day, because I always like to go to the beginning of things. It just randomly popped in my head one day. I was like, I wonder who was the first. Because my people, so like my mom and them are from East Texas. So they're from the country, right? So naturally, country, farm, milking a cow. It just popped in my head when I was like, you know what? I wonder who was the nasty ass person who just decided to drink cow's milk one day. Because it's always baffled me. This has been since a long time ago. I've always never understood that.
I've never either.
Why is it if you mention breast milk, people will gag? But drinking milk from another species, you're perfectly cool with that.
I've thought about that in infant terms, because I'll say there's no other mammal, we're mammals, there's no other mammal that drinks milk past infancy.
Yeah.
So
once
why
you
are
get
we
teeth,
eating dairy?
You don't drink milk.
Exactly.
You don't drink milk anymore.
But I've never thought of it in those terms.
Why do we even drink? If you say cat milk, if you say seal milk, if you say whale milk, if you said, oh, whale's not a mammal. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I don't think they do milk, though.
I have to Google that later.
I don't think. No.
It's still a mammal.
Yeah, but they eat. I'm pretty sure they just eat fish.
Even when they're really small?
Yeah, because I don't think that.
I'm gonna have to Google that because
I
like animals. So
I need to know this now.
But it's like, so But then that's what took me back to how did that start?
That's true.
Because that means somebody was sitting around looking at a calf feed on a teat and was like, yeah, I'm going to get some of that too. Ew. Because you got to think, that's before pasteurization. So, I mean, they just raw, just straight from the cow milk.
Honestly, that's way healthier for you if you're going to do it straight from the cow versus pasteurized and all that.
But healthy in what sense? Because
no, it's not good for you.
Because the thing is with me, I look at it like this, right? And then when I watched What the Health, I was like, yeah, that was made and designed to make a baby cow bigger. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
A man didn't have any involvement, or humans didn't have any involvement with designing cow milk. It was already there in nature. Mm-hmm. So why would you just feel like a cow is, if you don't feel like that about any other land mammal?
I mean, we drink goat's milk.
But the thing is, think about how many people think that's gross. It's all get out.
No, goat's milk is pretty widely accepted, especially more recently.
Well, no, I mean but back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Right, so
goat's milk's more.
And then it's like, but it's like.
That's a very good point, because yes, nobody drinks milk past infancy except humans, because we decided that we needed to milk everything, including almonds.
It's business. It's business.
Honestly,
it's
though,
milk industry.
Well, no, I think when it started was way before that.
Well, yeah.
But I think when it started, it was more of a lack of nourishment in the times, and it was something that they knew had a lot of nourishment in it, and hey, let's give this to adults because there's a lot of vitamins and crap in here.
But
and
that's hilarious, because it's like,
well,
no.
But at that same juncture in human history, we were also just killing everything and figuring out what we could and couldn't eat.
Okay.
So I think I'm talking like original
issues.
Well, not even cavemen, more like even like prairie times, I feel like.
Okay.
So I think once we moved on from the prairie times into more of I don't know, modern times.
Yeah, whatever came after.
Whatever comes
after. I
after.
sucked at history and social studies. I'm horrible at that, so I don't know the time frame.
I don't know time frame.
But I get where you're going.
Yes, but once we went past that time,
right.
I think milk should have fell off. I don't think we should have continued with it. I think we had enough other things, and now especially, I don't think we should be drinking milk. But I think it was more of we're just going to use everything that we can because we don't have very much.
But the thing is, right, and especially now, right? So because that movie, it got me thinking even deeper. Because I'm like, okay, so wait, so let's think about that. Because I'm putting it in terms of a human. You have the rare one-off occasions where a woman that has a child continues to lactate. The child could be 7. They're still lactating for whatever reason. And then you got, you know what I'm saying? There's some women that lactate no kid. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the more
we're staying normal,
recent occurrences. The thing
the
that
majority.
happens majority. So you have a baby and you lactate. Okay, boom. So you have cows that are just milking cows, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they're not just milking cows. Well, the milking cows have to be inseminated.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, the whole milking industry currently is disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. So it's so you have cows that are getting milked 24/7 with no baby, because they're giving hormones.
No,
all of them don't have. All of them don't have them.
Some of them. Well, it depends on the farm. So I'm not just on that movie. I'm some other stuff I've read and seen. Some farms actually will let them have some babies, and then those babies become milking cows as well.
So that's what I'm saying.
But yes, it's still either way.
So none of it is normal.
No, the whole process.
Because you think about it from if you think about it from the level of consumption that we have of it, and they're trying to keep up with the demand for it. That means they're giving these cows all these hormones that make them continue to lactate all the time.
You know what
so that means that cow
inside of you
is passing off all that stress, all of that, and it's still at the end of the day, it's cow hormones, it's bovine hormones. Even in the movie, they were talking about how that's linked to breast cancer.
It is actually,
and I'm like, I was already weirded out when I just initially got to the first of when I first thought bro, somebody drink. I don't want it no more. That's gross. That's nasty. But then the movie just really just put me
yeah. I've never been big on dairy.
I was.
I'm not.
I was a dairy person. in any form.
Well,
Bluebell ice cream.
I love Bluebell
I
ice
could
cream.
sit there and I could get a whole block of cheese and shred it and put it in a tin and eat it. Sitting in front of the TV. Yep. What else? Milk. Yep. Give me the 2%. I got some Oreos. Yeah, I was a milk head.
No.
So yeah, I just stopped on like this ain't coming from somebody that was like, I was barely doing dairy. Nah, I was give me all the cheese on the pizza, give me all of that.
See,
and I just was like, I'm done.
That's impressive. Mine was mostly cheese. I would drink milk when I was a kid, but I never liked it. And I would do chocolate. When I was in the military, I did a ton of chocolate milk because I was hungry. And it was filling and delicious. But no, I don't drink milk. I don't really like most dairy things outside of cheese. Eggs aren't dairy.
No. They're in the dairy area,
yeah,
but it's not dairy. No. It doesn't come from cow.
But outside of cheese, really, I've cut out, I think, almost all of my dairy. And I very, very, very rarely do even cheese. I had some Alfredo this week, but other than that, like, cheese is cheat meals.
You know what I realized, too, about dairy? It makes me bloat.
Same. And that's one of the reasons I stopped eating ice cream, because it just, like, pregnant looking.
Like, the first time I tried to get to 200, I think I peaked at like 186. But in a picture, compared to now that I'm 200, if I put both of those pictures side by side, in that picture, you would think I was like 230. Dang. That's how much I was just here. But it was like, I was like, bro, I didn't realize I was at, like, I was fluffy.
Yeah.
Like, I was bigger, but it was like.
My 200 was very fluffy as well. Well, I was 198 was the heaviest I've ever been. We're going to hit 200, though, because I got to bulk. I got to get bigger. I need to fill out bigger shirts than you.
Just threw that in there, didn't you? But it's crazy to me. So, like, going back to, like, the original part. It's just
hormones.
It's crazy to me that, like, in the office, we get judged that hard.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, but if the shoe was on the other foot, we get so much pushback for just preaching health. I don't understand. Well, I understand it. I do understand it because it's business.
Yeah.
Because the healthier you are, the less you have to go to the doctor, the less medicine you're gonna buy, so they're gonna slowly go out of business, or business is gonna go down. So I get that part of it because I understand business. It has no feelings. They don't care. They're just here to make money. Understand that.
Farmers just here to make
money. They're
money.
Legal drug dealers.
And
sorry.
Anybody who's connected to them is going to make sure that they end up making money as well.
And then it's interesting because a lot of the pharmaceutical places have a lot of stock in food. So yeah, put that together. Go watch What the Health.
Actually, there's real quick total side note. Back in the 60s, the vegetable oil company actually paid somebody to come out and say that vegetable oil was better, and that something else was causing high protein levels was causing cancer and heart problems, not the vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is horrible. Don't eat, and seed oils, just cut them out. Don't use them. Period. Just don't.
Is avocado oil a seed?
It is a seed. Well, don't cook with them. Sorry, you can use them, just don't cook with them. Yeah, don't cook seed.
I thought it was good.
It's good, but don't cook with it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought
Yes.
it was better to cook with.
Avocado oil?
Yeah, because it has a higher smoke point.
It depends on how hot you cook it. So at a certain point, all seed oils become toxic to your body if they get too hot.
Okay.
I just stopped cooking with them, and I hate oils. Period. I have a weird texture sensitivity thing, and I don't like.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Is umami or umami when it coats your whole mouth? I don't like things that do that. But
I think
anyway.
umami is something different.
No, I think that's the. Anyway, we're way off point. I think that's when it's like the taste is coated fully in your mouth.
I don't know.
It's something. It's a weird word like that. I could be wrong.
I get where you're going. I get what you're saying.
But yes,
like
anyway.
like you have a film.
Yes.
Like it feel like the. I just like an hour after you're done eating, like you feel greasy. It feels greasy.
Yes, can't do it.
Yeah.
Or greasy, oily, or grimy, slimy, grainy. I'm really weird. Anyway.
Everybody has their thing.
Mine are a lot. But back to women's hormones.
This is still on topic.
Kinda. But no, so make sure that you're taking into account your weight fluctuations and you're feeling bloated or you're looking heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Take that all into account when you're taking your pictures, what time of the month it is, because it might not be that you regressed or that you lost progress, but that it's just that time of the month and you just don't look as good. Literally, I can wake up or I can go to bed and I'm like, ooh, waist, flat stomach, great, look at, oh, wake up the next morning, I'm like, why do I look like I have a freaking child growing inside of me? Like, no, it's just that time of the month.
Like that every day.
Anyway, I've been trying to keep it slim. But you need to make sure that you're taking those things into account, especially if you're getting discouraged.
Yeah, be nice to yourself. That's the main
and that's exactly where I was going next. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. All of this, male or female, all of this is a struggle to a point because our brains do not want change. So if this is something new for you and it's like super hard to get motivated or you just really can't seem to get it, it's because your brain is literally fighting against you to make any change.
Right.
It is going to be hard, but you have to be kind through the hurt and the hard. Don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake or when you do lose progress or when you're not measuring up to what you want. It takes time. And if you're not being kind to yourself up here, you're going to regress, period.
You're going to go backwards.
I did. I'm a living example. This happened like a couple months ago. It's like a month out of it. But I was so stressed, so in my own head, and just trying to kill myself in the gym, but was not eating enough. And I regressed. I lost muscle mass and I gained body fat. It's not the way you want to go. I started taking care of my mental health and my body has followed. In like 2 weeks, I have noticed a major difference.
Yeah. Once you start getting this together, your body will listen. Your body listens to whatever this says.
Yes.
So
this is reality.
This is on panic mode. Your body don't give a damn about. I'm trying to build my body. It's like, bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I don't care. I don't care. This is still sending signals of panic. So I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that pump. I'm not hearing none of that trying to get some gain. I don't know what that is, but I know how to survive.
Yes.
That's what it's gonna revert to immediately.
Mode. Yep.
But the second you get it out of that mode and switch it back to everything will, like, you'll have fluid that starts coming off of you. You'll have fat will start coming off. It might not come off like that, but it'll start coming off in a sense like that compared to what it was doing when you were stressed out.
Yes.
So like you'll have more. You'll start getting muscle better, easier. You won't ache as much.
Yes.
You ever notice that? Like when you're stressed out, like it just feel like your joints are just like
So that's because of your cortisol levels.
Mm-hmm.
High cortisol levels are going to cause an array of things, including achiness, muscle loss.
Does it cause inflammation?
It does. Honestly, I have so much stuff on cortisol, but I can't remember any of it right now. But
cortisol bad.
Cortisol's bad. There are supplements, and magnesium also helps reduce cortisol levels. So if your cortisol is extremely high, magnesium is something to look into. Or Revive has a supplement called Calm, and I really, really like that one. It's one that I've used for almost 4 years straight now. But if your cortisol is out of control, because your cortisol in your brain, what you're thinking and what you tell yourself is reality to yourself. So if you're in your head going, I am so fat and out of shape and I just hate myself, your body is going to believe that. Your mind is going to believe that. That's reality. Oh, I'm fat and out of shape. We have no motivation now. We shouldn't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because it believes you. Start telling it what you want. Start giving it love up here. And everything will just flow into it. Mental health is hard. hard. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to get a handle on. But once you kind of figure out your way of dealing with it, life is just going to kind of almost get easier in a sense.
It gets easier to deal with.
Yes, it gets easier. Thank you. That's
yeah.
Easier.
Because the universe will start throwing a lot of shit at you. Yes. Once you start kind of getting your mental health right, especially when it's like you peaking at being like there.
Yeah.
Life would be like, ha, curveball. And it's like, oh. But if you just stick to your guns, you just kind of, you like a boxer, you roll with the punches. It's like, all right, cool. I'm not knocked out. It might knock me down, but all right, cool. I get myself, gather myself, take my whole 8 count, because I don't need to try and get up too much. My legs, I don't feel my legs yet.
Yeah, take a second.
But just take it, all right. All right, let's go. I'm back in the fight. So it's just one of those things where it's simple once you figure it out. Yeah. It's not easy, like we say with a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that's life itself is very, very, very simple. We have a great ability to overcomplicate the hell out of it.
So much so.
Like, we overcomplicate it in general. Media, social media helps tremendously with doing that, because you get all this extra stuff in your head that you're worrying about, that if you really cut it off, you wouldn't even know what was going on. Mm-mm. Like, if you really only knew about the things that are like right around in your everyday circle, you would have a lot more calm days, because you wouldn't, it's a lot of stuff that this little thing right here puts you in know about that you really technically don't need to know.
Exactly.
You don't need to know about that. Like, what this celebrity has going on with that and this, that, and the third, and politicians and this, that. It's like,
all the drama.
I don't really care.
No.
I don't. Like, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, if you were on your deathbed, you wouldn't care. So why do you care now?
Yeah, why do you care what people on the internet are doing with their lives or saying about yours? I literally get told I look like a dude or some perverted, disgusting comment on a regular basis. I don't care. I'm now powerlifting, so that means I have an arched back when I bench. Arched back. No, it's proper form. Sorry. It is. Mm-hmm. Argue with me. I will go all day long. Because you can't load your spine when you're vertical. Horizontal. Wow. You can't load your spine if you're laying horizontal. There's nowhere to load the weight on your spine. So that's why you arch. It gives you better leg drive, so it actually is protecting you. But that was off the point. But I get told, oh, you shouldn't arch your back. All kinds of stuff. I don't care. Because guess what? It doesn't affect me. They're outside of my bubble. They're not here. They're not real.
Your arch back doesn't affect them.
Exactly.
Literally.
It doesn't. Are you me? Do you have my back? No. Why do you care? Doesn't.
Can you feel what I feel?
Yes.
No.
But to me, I like to post and I like to give content and I like to help people and I like to put positive messages out there. And I deal with the hate because I like doing that for people. But it's all imaginary. That's how I look at it. Yes, there are people that are real and those are the ones I'm helping. Everything else, they're just imaginary. They're spam, they're bots. I don't care. It's imaginary.
Keyboard warriors.
They are not affecting my immediate life. They should not affect up here.
Yeah, they're living there rent free when you allow people's comments and stuff like. I have a block party all the time. I'm a blockaholic.
Oh,
I will block somebody in a heartbeat.
My block list is now so long that I cannot scroll through it. It won't load all the way. Like, I know there's, like, it just keeps going. There's probably at least, like, I probably have close to as many block people as I have followers.
Which says a lot about people with huge, like, followings and stuff like that. It's like, it's probably a lot of bots, a lot of fake pages, it's probably not really actually a million actual real people that act.
No. But social media is, we try and compare our lives to it, which is bad for our mental health, but then also we're not comparing our life. We're comparing our worst parts to their best pictures.
Yeah, they're highlight reels.
They're edited, photoshopped, whatever pictures.
Angled out of the world.
Yep. Or like the girls that are on the pretty yachts with the bikinis having all these spa trips or whatever. Who's behind the camera?
Who owns the yacht? Because it ain't them.
I'm telling you.
How'd you get on that boat?
all fake. Stop letting it get into your head because it's all fake. So something I've started doing for my mental health, I've started it is now a routine. I've been doing it for 30 days. So 30 days to establish a routine, 90 establishes the habit. So if you can do it, if you can stick to anything for 30 days, it just becomes normal. Go to the gym 4 days a week for 30 days, and it will be, oh, it's time to go to the gym, not, I have to go to the gym today. So every morning now when I wake up earlier than I need to for work, so that I can go, I have a little quiet time, I meditate, which I've just started doing, and then I do a little bit of yoga and stretching, just mind, body, and spirit. I hit all three first thing in the morning. I don't look at social media until I get up at like 5:30. I don't look at, my phone is on do not disturb until 8 o'clock. I don't look at my phone unless I'm using like an app for my call or for meditating or something until 8 o'clock. So that helps keep all that world nastiness and all that fakeness out of my brain in the morning. It gets me started off in a positive space, positively thinking about myself, positively thinking about my day, and I'm physically ready for my day. My body is now awake, my mind is awake, my mental health, I have my standards set for the day. I'm in a good mood and it's going to be a good day. Yes, there's going to be things that interrupt, things that are going to hinder that, but I have set myself up as best I can to mentally prepare and progress through this day in a positive manner. Things like that is what you need to do to get your mental health going in the right direction, so that when you get the hate or when you're looking at social media, it becomes more of a one of those ridiculous. It becomes more of a
entertainment.
What's that ridiculous TV show? Jersey Shore. It becomes, Instagram is Jersey Shore. Like the ridiculous amount of just retardedness that show has. That's the only one I can think of.
So many Bad Girls Club.
I'm not a big TV person.
Reality TV in general.
Indeed. And we know how fake it is. We laugh at it. Yes, it's entertaining, but we understand it's all staged.
Yeah. Separate the two. Understand that that's not really how anybody's life is really going.
Yes.
Like, yeah, somebody might end up pregnant and you can't really fake that because there's a person happens. But that's about it.
Yeah. Other
the
than
marriage is time to be fake. That ain't real. Like if you Google, because you can look up whether somebody's married or not. That's public knowledge.
Yeah.
But the rest of that stuff, it's just so made up.
Yes, and like social media, it's just all made up. People that 90% of the times, the people that are sitting behind the keyboard saying nasty things about you are either
they hate their life.
They hate their life. They're unhappy with something in their life. They have some sort of trauma, and they didn't understand how to cope with it, and it has become their coping mechanism.
It's their outlet.
To be mean to people. Just remember that 99% of the time, that hateful comment or that judgment or that nasty thing that got said isn't about you. It's a reflection of what is wrong in their life, or what they see wrong with them, or what they see wrong in their life, something with them. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with you.
And they don't know you.
They don't know
one thing about you. Like, they literally don't. I say that all the time, right? So, like, with me, like, in real life, because, like, I've dealt with that, like, way before the internet and way before this social media and all that.
Same.
Like, when people would really be talking like that. And I'd be looking like, first of all, I've been with me my whole life. There ain't nothing that not one person can tell me I did that I don't already know about. So it's kind of like, have you seen 8 Mile?
Yeah.
With Eminem?
Yeah, I love it.
You remember the very last freestyle he did? Where he talked about himself, the whole freestyle, and he said, here, tell them something they don't know about me. To where he took all the power away from the guy because that's what they were doing.
Yes, I do remember that.
It's the same. That's how, I didn't get it from the movie, but I just thought that was like a hilarious rap, because like, if I tell you everything like about me, bad, like I just be like, all right, I did this, I own up to everything. It's like, All right, so what are you gonna say about me now? Because
Exactly.
I already told him all the bad stuff. So what do you got?
Yep.
Nothing. Okay, so
yeah, if you don't know nothing.
I mean, like, and at the end of the day, even if you do whatever you know, I already know it.
Yeah, and whatever people are gonna say about you on the internet, you know the truth. Don't let their ridiculousness become a truth. Don't let it replay into your head where you think that is real, because it's not.
Yeah, don't bite.
You know.
Don't take the bait.
Yeah, and okay, we're gonna go. Don't respond back and be a bully back. Just leave it alone or delete it. That's the most.
It's a big waste of time to try and defend yourself. I get it because it's human nature.
Yes.
It's human nature to have enough and be like, all right, look, I feel like I gotta say something, and depending on where you at and depending on where you're at, sometimes you do have a feeling of, nah, I gotta say something. I have to respond because, all right, look, I'm not gonna let. If it's 100 comments like that, I literally can't. Human nature, you're not gonna be able to let all of them slide in your head for the most part. Especially if you're somebody like me, where it's like I come from the days of all that stuff had to have been said in my face,
Same.
and I know I wouldn't let it slide then.
Yeah.
So you kind of get that, but at the same time, you can always do this.
Also, damn it, I had something. Oh, you can also moderate your response. You don't have to be a jerk back. You don't have to lash out. You don't have to be rude. I had somebody comment on my bench form, and it was like, you shouldn't arch your back. You don't know what you're doing, or something just stupid. They didn't know what they were talking about. I know what I'm doing is right. So my reply wasn't, well, yes, I do, or you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, or let me see your bench, or anything like that. It was, this is why my back is arched. This is actually how you properly bench, and I gave a technical, very calm explanation of why I was benching in that manner.
Oh, you better than me.
Well, so the reason I do it that way is A, it takes away all their power. They can't be mean to me if I'm being nice to them.
No, they can't.
No, they don't.
They can.
They can.
Because I've seen
it.
It's so crazy.
Well,
like,
but honestly, at that point, it's funnier for me.
yeah, I get it.
And
I'm not saying it don't make no sense because none of it makes any sense.
No,
It's all laughable. But like me, I would just be like, you know that old commercial that used to come on where the guy would just be like he would get hate and he would just be like, oh, bless your heart.
I say that a lot. I love that. But that's the style of which I respond to mean comments. If it's to the point where you need to say something, why are you going to attack ugly with ugly?
Yeah.
Because that's not good for your mental health.
Yeah.
You don't know what this person is going through or why they said what they said. They're not in your life and they're not actually affecting you. So why be rude back? Why not? I mean, if you're not going to ignore it, if you want to respond, you can very politely even say to fuck off. But in a polite manner. Hey man, like if you don't like it, you don't need to be on my page. I'm going to go ahead and block you so you don't have to see it anymore. That's polite. You weren't rude or anything. I don't like when mean gets responded to with mean because there's no progress there, and honestly I feel like it ends up hurting the person. It hurts my mental health more when I'm ugly to somebody who's been ugly to me than if I respond even with like dripping sarcasm-y sweetness. Like I know I'm being sarcastic, but it might not read that way. If somebody knows me, they might not know, but a stranger's not going to know how sarcastic I am, so they're not going to get that. So I was polite, sarcastically, so I feel a little bit better sometimes, but honestly, even that was making my mental health worse.
Yeah.
Because that's just a negativity that you're building up in yourself. You're letting it manifest. You're letting that negativity eat at you. And it's not going to be a beneficial thing, regardless of who you're aiming it at.
Yeah.
So
I had a comment like that the other day.
Yeah.
Like on my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
when I posted that reel, and I don't know how that reel has gone a lot of places. It's weird.
Which one?
The one where I posted is like when you're old as shit and you still look good as fuck or something like that.
Yeah.
So I posted because it keeps getting likes, and it's like from people I don't know. I hit like me. I'm a check. Like I check. The main reason why I check is I have an IT background, so I'd be like, possible hacker. Like if I look at your page and it's like 0, I just automatically think that anything with 0 posts and you don't follow me and we don't have nothing mutual, I feel like you're a hacker. I'm not trying to lose my account. I'm not gonna lose my life or my day over it. I really don't care. But it's just irritating. But I just feel like it's a hacker, so I'll just be like block. I'm just gonna block you. But
actually, it's mostly probably old men and women.
It is
that just don't post, like my dad.
And but it's like people like that are like nowhere near the state. I'm like, how did you even see this? But it's like, so somebody commented and said 45 or something like that. And I was like, first of all, tap on your page, see how you look. Because I come from that era. I come from the era of high siding and talking about people and doing all that in real life. So it's real hard for me to clock out of that. Because that's just my automatic response. And when I first got on social media, I kept that same mentality. Like, because my social media that started off was, I mean, I was on MySpace and all that, Dallas Peeps and all that stuff. So then I was on Facebook when it first happened because I was in college. So everybody that was on my Facebook was literally it was all people I knew in real life. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if somebody says something, it's like, I know you in real life, so this is really just me responding right here because you're not in my face. Yeah. So, yeah, I worked on that because I wasn't nowhere near, like, the stuff you be talking about doing, I was like, bro, I wasn't nowhere near that for a while.
This is not, this is a new thing for me. This is not old Victoria. 3 years ago, Victoria would
paragraphs
tear them a new one. Yeah. Still slightly polite, but extremely sarcastic to the point where you would know. But that's me being coming at somebody is I'm very observant, and I'm very I can pick people apart pretty well. So I can go look at somebody's page and figure out very easily what their probably biggest weaknesses might be. And I can use that in a sarcastic manner to just tear them a new one without ever actually using any bad words or mean terms.
No. But my old me, I'd have been and got my page deleted for community guidelines. I'm talking about bad. I mean, I was, but that's because
But that's also a difference
I have a horrible temper.
I was about to say that's also probably a difference in just like the way you've always talked.
I talk like I type. I type like I talk like this. Same. I talk like
I'm not a big cusser. Like I'll cuss sometimes, but I don't cuss people out. I would much rather intelligently destroy you and make you feel this big with smart people words. And
put all that together.
No, but have you ever been super, super heated and had just somebody calmly just tell you how wrong you were? Doesn't that just irritate you 10 times more?
Nah. Oh, it would. Like once I'm mad, I don't care. Like when I say I embody the statement I don't care, I mean every single, and it's not even I don't, it's I do not care. Whatever you say, I'm talking about immediately. Like that's why I really fight like not to get mad, because once I'm there, because I know a lot of people will be like, I'm a Libra, I live in my sign, and I'm very this. I'm very extreme.
I don't know what
so a Libra sign is a scale, right? So we're naturally, so the theory is that we're naturally unbalanced. So we're either all the way hot, all the way cold. Like that's how it works, right? So I'm an extreme. It's like either I'm all the way, I love you, I'll take a bullet for you, or if I don't rock with you like that, you can get hit by a car in front of me and I'll be like, that didn't have nothing to do with me anyway. Life happens, I guess. And
I have a switch. Not everything nothing affects me if I don't want it to.
Yeah, but mine is like, bro, you cold.
Oh, I can be. But for me, it's a choice.
Yeah, mine is a choice, but it's like.
But don't get me in that old space, because
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why at my age now, cause I used to live in that space. Like in my 20s, I used to live in it because I used to love it. I'm like I like not caring. I like it.
That was me in my early 20s.
It's like a defense mechanism. Slightly, I'm cool on it. Like I ain't really worried about it. Like I know who in my circle. Like whatever. Like, but so like, she commented. I went to her page. She was so. I was like, first of all, I know ain't no way in no parts of this world I look like I'm 40 fucking 5.
No.
So that was first off. I'm looking like, bruh, where you get 45 from? Let's just start there. Second of all, when I saw her profile pic alone, I was like, you peasant. No, you did not. No, you did not come to the kingdom in disrespect. You came and really commented on my. Then I went to the page and it wasn't private. I scrolled. I'm like, I said. So I was like, don't do it. And you know what? You popped up in my head. I was like, don't be a bully. Victoria says don't be a bully. I was like,
so proud of you.
Calm down. So I told her. I said, matter of fact.
Oh God, we're gonna pull it up.
I want to read it word for word. Cause where is it at? Cause it was. I said, calm down. I'm trying to stop firing people up for playing with me.
Good job.
And I left it at that.
Thank
goodness for her, she didn't respond. Cause the next thing I was gonna do, I was gonna tag my wife, and my wife be trying to battle with the old me as far as talking bad. Like my wife prides herself when she's mad. She prides herself on being able to try and talk somebody and want to kill themselves. She'll talk to you that bad. Like that's her thing.
That's kind of mine. Isn't not quite that dramatic, but I can very easily, in the midst of an argument, just calmly tear you to shreds, and you will end up if I had been able to observe you for at least an hour in a setting with other people, I can tear you up and down you'll think your life is worthless. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be a very mean person, but it's 2 reasons actually. We're gonna go back to women's hormones. I was on birth control for 12 years straight.
Man, I hate that we missed that.
We'll
talk about that. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So we're gonna do this. It's a little backtrack.
Be aware of that.
I was on
birth
control for 12 years straight. I came off for a show I was doing. I just decided to finally, for one show, I was going to come off because I had done it. I continued it with every show because I've been having it consistently for so long. I finally came off for a show, did my show, and I didn't get back on because I didn't need it at the time. And I was moving back to this area, and it was just a lot going on, and it wasn't important, and I didn't need it. The amount of just difference of mentally of coming off, I believe that a lot of the anger and personality that I had, and a lot of the cold, and I believe it was the birth control messing with my personality, because so my ex and the person I'm currently dating are literally probably the farthest apart on the spectrum that you can get. Like, insanely. And honestly, just looking back over my life on birth control, like decisions I made, people I dated, just things I was into my normal things, but just the way I thought and the way things processed, and so utterly different. I am much calmer. Mm-hmm. I feel like I can think almost at a better in a calm way, even in a stressful situation. My personality has gone from a bitter and ugly and just nasty, and I hate everything and I hate everyone, to people now tell me like I'm sunshine and bright, and like I used to get called like nasty and dark, and like nobody wanted to be around me because I was just gross.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Absolutely insane. And as I've started to realize that birth control had such an effect, I've started kind of looking at all the differences, and it really is. It is astounding. I'm not saying just don't take birth control and go willy-nilly and get yourself pregnant.
Be aware of it.
Be aware of what this is doing to your body.
It's playing with your hormones.
It's playing with your hormones, and there are other methods that you can do that don't have hormones, but if you're taking a hormonal birth control pill, there's so many things that is doing to your body. When you have your cycle on a pill, it is not your actual cycle. It's a synthetic that your body's doing because the pills are telling it to do it. Mm-hmm. Your body, I can't remember what they said. I think there's something that it does that it keeps it in a certain state where your body thinks you're constantly in. I can't remember, sorry. I have research for this that I'm going to do something on. But anyway, that is something to make sure that you take into account, because not only is it going to mess with your personality, it's also going to mess with the way your body composition works, the way your muscle mass works, the way your body fat works, the way your metabolism works. All of those things are also coming into as a factor with taking birth control.
Which one were you on?
I was on Loestrin FE24, I think.
No, I mean like pill, shot, pill. So like, for instance, I've been knowing this since high school, because that's like the main thing I always heard about it. The shot blows you up. That's like the automatic.
Not necessarily.
Well, like a lot of times it blows. Like,
it can.
Compared to what they probably would have been not taking it, they end up bigger. Not necessarily like all the time, but it's like that. That's like one of the main side effects that the women that I knew would always see. And it's like, so just to talk about the women's hormones things and like how that could affect you as far as when it comes to your goals, as far as losing weight, losing size, changing body composition. That's something to be very aware of. Like the type of birth control that you're on could be playing a huge factor in why it seems like nothing is working. Because you literally could be doing everything right on paper, and that might be the whole reason why nothing kind of quote unquote is working. But you know what's so messed up?
What? Hormones and gut health.
There's so much.
If you're
stuff
not making
in
progress,
food.
check those two.
There's so much stuff in the food now.
Oh yeah, it's
getting to the point where I feel like you know how a lot of women, and I'm literally thinking about this like as we're talking about it. You know how like a lot of women literally have to take a birth control so their period can be some type of regulated.
It's because of all the crap in the food. And
I didn't even think about that till like right now.
They've actually done they've looked into it. The amount of hormones that were pumped in the food back when like you and I were kids versus current is even more extreme. And girls nowadays at younger ages are getting their periods even younger, and they're even more just ridiculous and out of proportions. I know so many women with blood clot issues, and the food that you're consuming when you go to purchase it, I know it's sometimes more expensive, but at least get your proteins from a decent source. Try to find a packaging or a company that sells no hormone, free range something. If you can. It is very difficult and it's expensive.
And try and look up the company too.
Yes, look up your company. I typically shop at Kroger. So I Googled all my Kroger companies that Kroger carries, and I kind of pick through and see what's good and what's not. I normally get my meat from H-E-B, but sometimes I can't because it's too expensive. So yeah, sometimes you've got to use some crappier stuff, and that's okay. But if you're having a lot of issues and like you're eating exactly what you need to be eating and you're working out how you need to be working out, but you're still not making progress, check your hormones and what you're doing for your hormones. Check the hormones for your food, and then check your gut health. Those are going to be your 3 big factors that most people don't even consider when they hit a stall or hit issues with their progress in the fitness.
And your mental health. Yeah, that was big 4.
Yeah. Well, I think mental health is more of like a self-care versus like a additive.
But if your mental health isn't right,
well, yes, it's going to.
It could be a factor in why you're not. Because you might just literally, you walking in the gym. If you walking in the gym is literally the only time you are happy, that's a bad sign. That's kind of the narrative that gets played today. Like the gym is my happy place. It's only, bruh, that ain't good.
No,
that ain't good. It's really not. Like all this, and we talked about this on like another one. All this, everybody's so lonely and the gym is this. It's like, oh, I'm a lone wolf and ooh. Let me tell you something. Long term, that ain't healthy. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. I'm not saying you have to be a different person and but it's like, I don't know the definition of emo or whatever, but from what I can kind of gather from outside looking in, like feeling like that's how you kind of borderline have to be to lift good in the gym or like be strong, or you can be very happy and lift big weights. I hate to bust people's bubble. You can be extremely happy. You can walk in there and lift some heavy ass shit and walk out to a great happy day.
And the gym can be your happy place.
But add to it.
But just so you can have things about your life that you hate, but that shouldn't make you hate your life to where the point where you go to the gym and that's the only time that you have joy.
Yeah.
Just because things aren't where you want them to be at the current moment doesn't mean that you should be miserable, or that you need to accept misery, or accept that this is your miserable life, or you're unhappy or whatever. Oh, I'm alone and miserable. I'm just going to be a lone wolf now. No, it doesn't need to be that way.
No.
You need to have a healthy life outside of the gym, because that's 23 hours of your day.
Right. That's what I was just thinking about. Like, you're in here for what, 1 to 2 hours? So for 1 to 2 hours out of 24, you're happy?
Yeah, that's not how it should be. Yes,
scary.
You can not like your job, and you can not like things about your life, and you can be working to change those, but that doesn't mean you should be unhappy. Happiness is not something that we get or are because of other things.
Yeah, it's internal.
We're happy because we choose to be happy. You have to choose, this is the life that you have. Be happy with it. It's the only one you're going to get, unless you believe in reincarnation, but this is the only one you're going to get. So why not just be happy? You don't have to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect. My life is not perfect. I do not like the current job I have, but I'm working on that. There are things about my life right now that I'm working on because I'm not happy with them, but I am happy. My life is good. I am blessed. I am happy. I'm happy up here, but it's a choice.
Right.
I'm choosing it. I'm diagnosed with depression and anxiety and PTSD. I don't take meds for any of those anymore because it was messing with me too. But you have to fix up here. You have to.
Yeah, because most of the medication, at the end of the day,
medication just makes you worse.
It makes you, most of the time, the medication they're going to prescribe you, for the most part, I'm not a doctor, this is my opinion.
These are opinions.
Most of it, from what I've heard from people that are on this type of stuff, it just makes you numb.
Yep, exactly.
That's really all it really does. It doesn't like push you in the other direction to make you happy. It just kind of, you just kind of get left in the middle.
I felt like a hollow version of myself, and like I had no meaning in life or no purpose, but I wasn't super depressed. I didn't want to like kill myself or anything, but
that was kind of it.
But that was it.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm here. Okay, now what? That was it.
There's more life than just existing.
I would rather take the really, really, really hard course and manage this all myself, because all that did was, I was so miserable. I was like, I feel more miserable, almost in a way, because there was no up and down even. It was just like, meh. At least without it, I was all over the place, so I was feeling something. I felt better about my life. Now I have lots of very specific things that I do to take care of my mental health so that it doesn't get very bad. Yes, I still have horrible depression episodes, and yes, I still have anxiety, and yes, I still have PTSD, but I manage those in my way that works for me so that I don't have to take that stuff, because that's all it does. And most of the medication, I feel like, in general, across the board, unless it's like some if it's a medication for a severe illness, it's pharma. They just want your money. They're not fixing you.
Legal drug dealers.
They're not fixing you. They're just giving you something so that you are
later.
Forever a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you're going for like something that can be cleared up with an antibiotic.
Yeah.
If you have a chronic condition, they're not helping you. There are natural remedies for almost every health condition, most of which center around fitness.
I feel like it's everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like it's everyone. I feel like
yeah,
whether
honestly,
we know about it or not, that might be the part where it's like, well, they haven't I feel like your diet and your fitness level, man, I really feel like it's a lot more your diet.
Yeah, it's so much more your diet.
It's what's going in there because
diet is literally 90% of it's. You're not gonna go put cheap gas in a Ferrari. You're gonna put expensive gas in a Ferrari. You're not gonna go put cheap oil in it. You're gonna get good oil changes.
The fact you pull Ferrari right out of my head, that's hilarious.
I'm
talking about as soon as Ferrari popped in my head, you said it.
That's funny
weird.
Because Ferrari is not even like my favorite car.
It's not mine either, but for some reason that's the automatic go-to.
That was the one that popped.
Cheap gas. Yeah.
Well, normally I go Lambo, because that's what a Lamborghini Aventador. I will drive one in my life. It's happening, and a McLaren. But anyway, but you're not gonna put cheap, crappy stuff in those things. You're gonna take care of it. You better not, or it's not gonna last.
Yeah, you can't.
Then you're gonna go to the mechanic, and you're gonna get tons of parts, and they're gonna be super expensive.
That bill is gonna be.
The food you intake, you end up at the doctor, super expensive. Same concept. Same thing with your house. Like when you build a house, you're not gonna put crappy, I don't know, plastic walls up, or
you're not gonna build it on the beach.
Not yet. Well,
like with no support system. Like you're not gonna put it on the sand and then be wondering, why is my house so unlevel? Why is it?
Why is it
weird.
Sinking? Why is it moving? Yeah. No. Everything that we intake, visually, all senses, all the senses, and your food, all play a part into how your body responds. Things that you intake visually and hear are going to play into your mental health, and it's going to translate to the rest of your body. All of it. When I'm talking about intake, yes, it is beyond food that is going to affect you. How much you're on social media is going to affect you. What you eat is going to affect you. For better or worse. Do you take the slightly harder road now and avoid the expensive one later?
I don't even feel like it's harder. It's seemingly harder.
Because
it's different.
It's different.
And because it's not the mass majority of what people are doing, so it seems like it's harder. But it's really not. It's pretty simple. Like, if you think about it, most healthy people have some of the, on paper, simplest diets in the world.
Yes. Chicken.
Because it's boom, boom,
rice,
boom, boom, boom. Like,
eggs.
that's it. Or you got vegans.
I don't know what
that's super simple. They can't eat too much. They
that's true.
eliminated a whole bunch of other stuff.
They really. I don't do vegan diets because. Never mind. But
they're too hard. Well, I won't. Wait,
that's not why I won't do them.
Let me reverse that. They're not too hard because the owners of this gym do it.
I know the Randy and Christine are vegan.
Yeah.
So
I can't say it's too hard. It's possible.
It is possible.
But it's a lot to it. Because when he told me like what all he went and did to figure that out, himself.
Yeah. So my problem with the average vegan is they're not properly nourished.
Yeah.
Yes. Owner of here, yes.
Well, that was more my.
But
that's more my. That's the example I think about. I don't think about the ones that are this big now because they're vegan. They're probably way less than my glasses.
Or they're overweight.
They cut so much stuff out. Oh, that's just stupid.
Have you not seen overweight vegans?
No.
You do know that undereating causes you to lose or gain weight as well, and most vegans undereat. And when they're undereating their vegan-y stuff that's healthy, they're overeating on other things that are unhealthy. Because,
Yeah, see, I try to look at the ones that are doing stuff correctly.
Well,
I mean, I know they're out there, but I think I probably turn them off too fast to really remember that they were.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
I know a few vegans
so
and a couple of pescatarians and vegetarians. Like, I know a little bit of all of them. And in my personal opinion, I don't like any of those diets. I don't believe they're well-rounded. I don't believe that's full spectrum of what you should be eating. I don't believe plant-based protein is that good for you. But that's my opinion. And guess what? I'm entitled to that. If you have a problem with that, leave a comment.
You the only one eating your food. You the only one that's got to eat your food.
Exactly. And if you come to me for a diet and you want that, I'm going to tell you, hey, I don't do that. I'm sorry, but
You can ask Randy.
I'll send you to somebody who will. I never just turn somebody down. Let me find you somebody who will do that for you so that you can get some help. I just won't do it. It's not the research and things that I have done and the knowledge that I have does not line up with those styles of diets. So, but is that pretty much everything? Are we good? We're late. Well, we're over an hour. Y'all got an hour and 16 minutes right now.
Social media judgment was the only other thing.
I think we kind of touched
Where were we going with that? I don't remember. I remember I wrote it down, but I don't remember. I mean, we kind of
talked about.
We kind of touched on that, especially with my little specificness out of my.
Yeah.
That's
You
some
did.
judgy. Yeah. Don't put a whole lot of stock into it.
Don't look at social media as anything but entertainment.
And don't take people
Serious.
comments and stuff.
Yeah, don't
like
take
their judgment of like how you look, or matter of fact, when you post something, post it
and
like
ghost it.
all you're doing is saving it to a photo album.
That's a good idea.
Don't post it with the thought of just take the picture and post the picture.
And honestly, that's kind of I'm not a big fan of social media. I do it because I know it's needed and goals in life need it, but
It's a means to an end.
it is a means to an end. But my social media, if you look at my still pictures, because now Instagram likes all those stupid reels, any picture that is a still picture, if it has anything other than like, oh, I worked out today, if it has a long description or it's something thoughtful, that was just me thinking to me, and that's what I wanted to write and post that day, so that one day I could look back at that and know that that's what I was going through, and that's what was on my mind.
Which is what it should be. It should be you should look at it like a digital time capsule of your life.
Yeah.
It's like a digital, it's a public, well, depending on how your page is set up, it's a public photo album, and that's kind of really it.
With you talking to yourself about what's going on.
That's it. Like, post it for yourself.
Post it for yourself.
Ain't nobody who cares who likes it and who don't? Because at the end of the day,
Who cares?
if you ain't getting paid per like, if you're not getting paid per comment, why does it matter? Why?
I don't. It don't matter to me.
I wouldn't care if I did.
Honestly, there are more days I just want to delete all social media than days I care about who likes my pictures.
I ain't never. Matter of fact, I can tell you how I don't care, because I don't post enough to care.
Yeah, you really don't.
I don't post. I am a story poster. I am a story reshare addict.
Oh my gosh.
I will reshare it.
Reshare, and if you reshare
I'm pretty
his
sure
reshare,
there's a lot of people that have no idea what I even look like or sound like if they ain't met me in real life or really just seen my old stuff. I'm a story sharing person.
That's so funny.
But like my actual page, that just reminded me. My actual YouTube, I need to start recording, because I ain't posting on there in a while. I done started a whole cut, didn't even vlog, none of that.
Oh yeah, you need to get on that. It's just so much time and effort, and it's just draining. If it's not gonna matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes on it. I could almost guarantee you there's not a single comment on your Instagram that's gonna matter in 5 years. There's not a single thing on there other than things that you post for yourself that's gonna matter in 5 years.
Right.
If it's even still around.
Or just go back 5 years. If your account is over 5 years, or if it's 5 years old, just go back and look.
Yeah, go back and look at 5 years old and look through all those see if you remembered anything anybody said, or what you even posted, or what was even going on. Because if it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes on it. It's been something I've been working on past couple of years, and seriously, it just gives you so much more peace, because you don't need to. What's the point? Why are you wasting an hour being upset about something that's not going to matter? You just wasted an hour when you could have been happy for an hour.
Yeah. My dad used to always tell me, you have to learn how to change gears. So like, and where that stemmed from was like, when I would get home, okay, you're at home now.
Mm-hmm.
You're here with me and your stepmom. You're no longer at school with your friends.
Yeah.
So how you talk and basically remember who you're talking to, because I'm not your friend. I'm not none of that. I'm your dad. That's your stepmom. And it's kind of like the same thing. It's like, okay, once I put this down, I change gears. Now I'm focused on whatever I'm doing. I'm focused on this. I'm not sitting here.
Yeah, trying to, like, yeah. I'm most of the time, the reason I post so late at night, 90% of the time, most of my posts go up at like 10 or 11 p.m. Because my phone goes on Do Not Disturb at 9 or 10 p.m. at night. I will literally post it and my phone goes on the charger and I don't look at it anymore. Because it doesn't matter. And I don't look at it until my phone goes off Do Not Disturb at 8. And then also, I now track my screen time. Why are you sitting there scrolling for 4 hours? Get up, go walk. There's your time. Hey,
y'all will scare yourself if y'all actually start looking at y'all screen time. It's
screen time.
I guarantee you.
And how much time you spend in front of the TV. Look at that and tell me you don't have time to work out, or walk, or exercise,
or do anything. Start a business. Do you have any idea how much money you could make with all that time you just wasting doing nothing? And you could run a business from this.
Yeah,
that's the sad part.
literally.
If you're gonna be on your phone that much with that much screen time, at least you have some money to show for it.
Yeah, make a business, do something.
What's the Gary Vee be talking about? Where you buy stuff like at a garage sale and then look it up on eBay and then resell it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody like messaged him or like tagged him in something. They like make like $100,000 like last year.
You could even do that just going through Facebook Marketplace and what else? Craigslist still around?
Yeah. It
okay. Craigslist.
It got such a bad rap. People try not to use it no more, but it's still alive and well.
That's fun. It did get such a bad rap. I mean, there was a whole section for it though. Like, come on. Anyway.
What else? OfferUp.
So fun.
Stuff like that. It's man.
Anyway, but yeah, check it. Something I posted today or yesterday. Excuses are you lying to yourself to make yourself feel better for what you told yourself you were going to do. So stop disappointing yourself and go do it. Stop lying to yourself. Because nobody cares about your excuses. I don't have time isn't the truth. You do have time, you're just not properly prioritizing your time. And if you have kids, you still have time. I know a mother of 6 that homeschools. She has time to run a marathon. I also know a mother of 4 who competes as a bikini competitor. I promise, it's a priority thing. You have the time. You are just choosing not to do it, and you're telling yourself you don't have the time, so you feel better about not doing it.
Everybody makes time for what's important to them.
Exactly. Instagram is apparently that important to you, or is your body more important to you? Is Netflix that important to you? Is that new show that important to you, or is how you look and your health more important to you? You don't have to cut everything completely out, but if you limit it or change the amount of time that you spend around it, you could change your whole life.
Literally.
But on that, I think we're at a good spot.
Yeah, that's good.
Are we good? All right, guys. It's been fun.
These are spirit fingers.
Bye.